You know that feeling on graduation day? The excitement, the relief, maybe the thought of what now in the back of your mind? Now imagine that feeling amplified because for many intellectually disabled students and their families, that what's next is a really big question. It's a time of huge transition, and it can be overwhelming to say the least. Where do these students go for support? How do they avoid just sitting at home while not receiving the independence that they may desire? How do they complete their individualized education plan, or continue their education in other aspects? And how can parents best prepare themselves and their children for this new chapter?
Today, we're talking about the struggles faced by intellectually disabled students when leaving high school and stepping into adulthood. But more importantly, we'll share real, actionable steps that can help both students and parents make this journey smoother.
High school can be super tough. We've all been there, right? Trying to find your stride, maintain quality friendships, and avoid awkward, embarrassing moments. And somewhere in there, start thinking about what comes after the high school years have run their course. But for students with intellectual disabilities, those challenges can be even tougher. Imagine going through high school, having to fight for the right accommodations, fight to be understood, fight to be treated equally, fight for real friendships, and worse, fight for people not to feel awkward when you are around. Yep, that may have been hard to hear. But we in the All Abilities Corner serve as advocates for special students who don't have a voice socially. And we want you to have a real account of what individuals with special needs sometimes encounter. So, we know that in situations like this, it takes a lot of strength and a lot of support. High school flies by because just when they're getting the hang of things, graduation shows up or they're aging out, and suddenly, they find themselves permanently sitting around doing much of nothing. The structure they've relied on, the teachers who know them, the setting and routines that make them feel safe, is all about to vanish. And that can be really, really scary for both the student and parent. We're talking about young people who are figuring out who they are, what they want to do, and how they fit into the world just like everyone else. But they're often doing it with less support, fewer resources, and a whole lot of preconceived notions about what they can and cannot achieve. And that's just not right. Every student, regardless of their abilities, deserves the chance to succeed, to follow their dreams, and to live a full and happy life. Yep, every student. So how do we make that happen? How do we bridge the gap between graduation and a future filled with possibility? Well, let's start by acknowledging the very real challenges that these students and their families face. For many intellectually disabled students, high school provides a sense of structure. They have a schedule, they know what to expect, and they have teachers and aides who are there to help them navigate the day. It's comfortable, it's familiar, and it works. But then, graduation happens, and that routine disappears. For some, it's like stepping off a boat onto shaky ground. Suddenly they have to figure out how to manage their time, how to get around, and how to advocate for themselves in a world that isn't always so understanding. It's a lot to handle, and it's no wonder that this loss of structure can be one of the biggest hurdles for these students to overcome. Imagine having autism, waking up every day, wanting structure, but having zero order, no routines, and not knowing where to go, or who to ask for help. That's the reality for a lot of intellectually disabled young adults after they leave high school. And it can be incredibly isolating and overwhelming. So what can we do about it? Well, first we need to acknowledge that this is a real issue. We need to listen to the parents of these students, especially if the student is nonverbal and can't verbalize their desire. And we especially need to listen to those intellectually disabled students who can actually verbalize their desires about the future. We need to create systems that provide ongoing support and structure. Finding a job is hard. Let's be real about it. Nobody really loves the application process, the interview jitters, the waiting game. It's stressful. But for people with intellectual disabilities, it can feel like trying to climb Mount Everest with one hand tied behind their back. There are so many obstacles, misconceptions about what they can and cannot do, a lack of accessible job training programs, and sometimes just plain old discrimination. It's enough to make anyone want to give up. But here's the thing, intellectually disabled individuals have so much to offer the workforce. They're often dedicated, hardworking, and eager to learn. They bring unique perspectives and talents to the table. We need to create more inclusive workplaces where everyone feels valued and respected, regardless of their abilities. We need to ditch the stereotypes and focus on potential, because when we give people with disabilities the opportunity to shine, they don't just meet expectations, they exceed them. Chapter 4. Independence and self-care. More than just life skills. Think about all the things you do every day without even thinking about it. Getting dressed, making breakfast, taking care of your finances. These are all essential life skills, but for intellectually disabled individuals, they can often require extra effort and support. Essentially, it's not just about the tasks themselves. It's about the confidence and independence that comes with mastering them. It's about feeling capable of taking care of yourself and making your own choices. Imagine how empowering it feels to finally cook a meal from scratch, manage your own money, or navigate public transportation on your own. These are huge milestones and they deserve to be celebrated. But let's be real, it's not always easy. It takes patience, perseverance, and a whole lot of support from family, friends, and educators. Parents, please listen to this next section. It's titled, The Emotional Roller Coaster of Supporting Students and Their Families. Let's talk about feelings, because this whole process is a roller coaster of emotions, not just for the students, but for their families too. There's excitement about the future, sure, but there's also fear, uncertainty, and sometimes a whole lot of grief. Parents might grieve the life that they planned for their child to have, the milestones they wanted the child to reach. Students might grieve the loss of their routine, interaction with friends, and the sense of belonging. Look, it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to feel all the deep feelings, but it's important to remember that you're not alone. There are support groups, therapists, and online communities where you can connect with people who actually get it, who've been there, and who can offer a shoulder to cry on or a virtual high five when you need it most. Chapter 6. A Parent's Perspective, Navigating the Unknown. To all the parents out there, we in the All Abilities Corner see you. We see your effort. We see the love you have for your children, the sacrifices you make, and the worries that keep you up at night. You're not alone in this. It's natural to feel extremely overwhelmed, to wonder if you're doing enough, to worry about your child's future. You want the best for them, and you want to protect them from a world that doesn't always understand or embrace their differences. But here's the thing, you are ground zero for your child's best advocate. You know them better than anyone else. Trust your instincts, listen to your child, and don't be afraid to ask for help when you need it. Now, to all our amazing students out there with special needs, we want you to know that you are capable of achieving incredible things. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Start by identifying your passions. What do you love to do? What makes you feel happy and fulfilled? Once you know what you want, don't be afraid to go after it with everything you've got. Remember, your voice matters. Don't be afraid to speak up for yourself, to ask for what you need, and to challenge the status quo. And parents, don't leave any stones unturned. Look for allies outside the norm. Consider reaching out to state disability services as well as government organizations, nonprofits, and charities such as the Easter Seals. They can all be valuable resources. Parents, you are your child's biggest cheerleader. Your belief in them makes all the difference in the world. So start fostering their independence by encouraging them to try new things, like taking on age-appropriate responsibilities, and learning to work on problem solving. Also parents, make sure that when they are participating in these new activities, to shadow them. Shadowing is when you let them do a thing but you hang back in the background only to assist them and only offer support when they are stuck while in the middle of the task. This gives them room to earn their independence. This transition from high school to adulthood is a journey. And like any good journey, it's going to have its ups and downs. There will be challenges, setbacks, and moments of doubt. But the trick is to keep your young adult active. Even if they are not mentally or physically capable of holding a job, still consider allowing them to participate in some form of volunteer work, or being a part of a day hab. This keeps them active and away from the dreaded couch. Because many young adults are forced to sit at home doing much to nothing. And this type of inactivity is neither healthy physically nor socially. We've covered some quality information in this video, and in the next and second part of this video, we will share more vital information. We will also discuss various organizations and resources that are dedicated to supporting intellectually disabled individuals and their families, because you should never feel trapped and alone in this. Transitioning from high school can be tough, but with the right support and planning, intellectually disabled students can lead fulfilling, independent lives. It's a journey, and no one has to go through it without a little help. If you're a student, know that you have options. If you're a parent, know that support is out there. We in the All Abilities Corner ask that you like, comment, and subscribe, and keep pushing forward, because the future holds possibilities you may not have even imagined. Be sure to come back and join us in part 2 of this video, and keep moving forward. See you next time.